With President Trump's 90-day tariff grace period ending soon, experts and business owners have gathered in Taipei to discuss the future of Taiwan's economy. Former U.S. Assistant Treasury Secretary Kimberly Closing provided insights on the impact of American tariffs on Taiwan's economy.
There's a huge amount of demand for the high-tech products that Taiwan makes. The advent of AI will only increase that demand. And so even if prices are somewhat higher, and even if Taiwan is tariffed, I think even at a higher price, Taiwan's products will be in high demand. As you point out, in the early part of this year, Taiwan's exports did very well, and that's partly because Taiwan's comparative advantage is situated in a very advantageous place for the modern economy.
Despite Taiwan's tech sector showing remarkable resilience, Closing also cautioned that weakening U.S. consumer spending could trigger broader consequences.
Taiwan sells about 14% of GDP to the United States. If the United States is doing worse, right, it will buy fewer things. Will it buy significantly fewer things from Taiwan? It's unclear. If you instead sort of take a Trumpian approach and say, I'm just going to try to bully the other countries that make those things and put huge tariffs on them, then you risk making the U.S. market isolated from the rest of the world. But I think a reckoning is coming. And unfortunately, I think that people are going to learn an economics lesson that they wish they hadn't learned, which is that tariffs are ultimately not good for economies. And I think if you asked, I'm not alone in this, if you asked 100 American economists, like, what year do you think U.S. economic policy was most misguided of the last 50? I bet that 95 to 99 of those 100 economists would say 2025.
In response, Xie Qingho advocated for measured diplomacy rather than direct confrontation with the Trump administration.
Currently, we don't know Trump's answer and bottom line. Around April 2nd, when Trump announced his reciprocal tariffs, the presidential office called to ask me how we should respond. I told the president several key points. First, don't speak harshly or talk back to Trump. Don't provoke him. So the first approach is to be gentle, respectful, and modest.
Taiwan is now developing a strategy that includes examining its own trade policies while working to reduce its nearly $74 billion surplus with the U.S.
Second, we should express our willingness to make our best effort to review whether there are any unreasonable tariffs on the U.S., and we are willing to improve. Third, we need to work hard to reduce our trade surplus with the U.S., because Trump calculates Taiwan's surplus at $73.9 billion US. What I mean is that we should promise the U.S. that we will make our best effort to resolve the current trade surplus issue. So we need to strengthen our purchases from the U.S.
In this climate of uncertainty, Taiwan's economic future hinges on both skillful diplomacy and its critical position in the global tech supply chain. This is Dimitri Boyas in Taipei for TVBS World Taiwan.